Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on, sit down because today we're going to talk about the world's worst.
Speaking about worst neighbor, I did recently, if YouTube people don't know this, but the neighbors complained about me screaming at night because I was playing Peak with friends, and apparently I ruined their sleep because their bedroom is right next to my streaming room. So it practically sounds like there's a girl screaming for her life in the next door. And then they genuinely thought that I was dying or something because I'm pretending I'm screaming because I'm falling in Peak. But you know, it is what it is.
Neighbors. We've all had.
And during that Peak gameplay, actually, they did knock on my door. And yeah, didn't know about it because the maid didn't tell me, but it is what it is.
Bad neighbors we dislike, whether it's someone moving furniture at 2 a.m. or a couple having loud domestic disputes day after day, or even loud obnoxious sex, which has happened to me. Horrible. I've had 3 horrible neighbors. Should I just list them now?
Ooh.
Coming at number 3, it has to be the jungle sex that was happening. I couldn't believe it. I was in my early 20s. Picture a bright-eyed young boy. Getting ready to get up for college or whatever. Literally, when I got home in the morning when I woke up, if it was at home, their bedroom was right above my bedroom.
Oh, hell no. Hell no, hell no, hell no.
All of it. And it would last so long, so very long. And then my bedroom is like,
maybe they're not actually having sex. If it's that long, maybe they're just watching porn. Has he ever thought that maybe his neighbor's not actually even having sex? Maybe he's just in the speakers watching porn.
Say here on the back side of my headboard is my bathroom where I have my shower, and in the morning when I would take my shower, they would be in their shower. Oh, and it's loud acoustic porcelain sex, and it was horrible. Some real shit was light, and that and the big slaps, whoosh, 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 whoosh. Balls definitely slapping ass in the taint and stuff. It's horrible. But I remember one day he came downstairs, and the guy, because I remember I was especially just loud one morning. He came downstairs at the same time I was leaving my apartment, and he's like, it was like a 54-year-old dude, and it was like an older couple, and I was just like, get at it. No.
Shut up. No.
Number 2 is definitely when I lived in Utah, there was a guy that lived above me as well, that every time he'd close his lazy boy chair, he would do it so hard that it would and it would do that. And it was so bad one night that I had to go up, knock, 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 open the door. There was nothing in his apartment besides milk crates and this lazy boy, and he had a fucking Doberman that was just doing sprints back and forth. A Doberman. A Doberman. And he's like, yeah. And I did, dude, it's like a midnight. Can you please? He's like, he got kicked out of the apartment. Other people complained about him. But then my number 1 worst neighbor moment was when I had a war veteran neighbor came over, he tried to just walk in my house. And I was like, what the hell? I unlocked it. He's like, yeah, I'm your neighbor. And he gave me a business card. That was his old ranked whatever. And it was a whole ordeal. And he kept driving up into our property and all kinds of stuff. It was the worse. And then he went on a whole tirade. And they found him a couple states over because he forgot to take his medications. But I heard,
what the is going on? Resident Evil 18 months?
I heard he's doing fine now, but that was definitely whenever he's.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never had a bad neighbor, but I'm probably the bad neighbor because I'm a streamer and I stream at 2 a.m. It's actually currently almost 1 a.m. and I can't imagine if ever. I remember apparently my sister went out for a walk while in the middle of the night and I was streaming during that night, and she said, dude, I can hear you outside almost not perfectly, but I can hear what you're talking about. I'm sorry, man. I need to move out. I need to build my own room or some shit like that so I could do perfect soundproofing, because I feel so bad. I genuinely feel so bad. I don't want to be a bad neighbor. I really don't want to. I'm really happy. Where's Nikita? We're not together. I really feel bad. I don't want to be a bad neighbor. That's the reason why I apologized. We brought cake to the neighbors to apologize. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I had no idea that you went to the house and tried to confront me. The maid didn't let me know, stuff like that. I had no idea. And then I apologized to him, and he was like, no, it's completely fine. It's completely fine. It's just so nice to be able to finally meet you. and I explained exactly what happened and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh man, it is what it is. Stupid question, but can't you find a different room? No, every room is right beside another house, so I'm gonna have this issue anyways. The good news is that I already blocked out the windows, so me streaming at the night will no longer affect them. And I told the dad to text me anytime, like my neighbor, if ever you can hear me, and they haven't texted me at all. So I don't think they can hear me anymore.
There's trying to open my door. That one was fucked. I'm gonna move the sex up to 1 actually. Looking back at it, the psychological damage, I think the sex gets moved up to number 1. You know what the thing was too is, and this is not even a joke. This is legitimately what happened. They would have sex in the morning. It would only be in the morning. The shower. You hear him walking around with the wet feet, whatever, and they would play Mambo number 5. I'm not even joking. Lou Bega. The psychological damage that Mambo number 5 does to a person after hearing 50-year-old people get done doing.
And then you have the nerve to have social anxiety after waking up the whole street.
Wet is horrible. Even the most ideal living situations can be ruined.
Yeah, guys, do you remember when I played that horror game in this place when I moved out, and then the police knocked in my like house and shit, and they were like, "Hey, is anything bad happening? It sounds like somebody's getting murdered." I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
By a loud, disrespectful neighbor. But the most common stories are tame compared to some of the more nightmarish tales out there. A true neighbor from hell can be a straight-up threat to your...
What did you just say? He's right about the sex. I had to ask my parents to move their bed. No, I'm so sorry that you even had to have that conversation with your parents. That's disgusting.
Mental and physical well-being. Some of the more serious neighborly feuds can last weeks or even years, affecting entire neighborhoods of people who simply can't afford to leave, which is true. Everyone knows somebody or is that person that's just like, he keeps bitching to me about my tree, or he says his tree keeps coming over my yard. He's dropping crab apples in my yard or something.
That's me. I feel like my neighbors don't like me.
I think every other day someone is calling and being like, Nick, can you do something? All right, hold on a second, guys. Pull up your phone. Daddy. Calling your dogs in. It's something that most people can relate to, which is why there's entire shows even dedicated to documenting them, like Neighborhood Wars, or this recent Netflix show called Worst Neighbor Ever. And in some extreme cases, these disputes can even escalate to physical altercations, lawsuits, and serious injury, like death.
My, when I was in 7th grade.
Right.
With how low energy this response is, I'm gonna say save it, and I want you to really pop at me at some point about it. All right? For those of you who are watching this from the comfort of an apartment, there's a very specific type of neighborly dispute that you may not be aware of. It has to do with something known as tree law. It has led to all sorts of chaos, which I would say almost apartment neighbor disputes are more common because you're so close together. But I will say tree law is something's gotta be done about tree law. Okay.
Pro or anti-tree law?
Fence riding tree law. Tree law refers to the area of legal system that handles disputes regarding damage caused as a result of trees and other forms of vegetation. If you find that your neighbor has a tree that's encroaching on your property, you need to be aware of the strict rules that dictate how you take action, right? You're allowed to trim parts of a tree that fall over a fence and into your home so long as it's not trimmed up past your property line. This sounds simple enough, but you'd be baffled by the amount of stories in which furious neighbors try to trespass on someone's property to chop down a tree, unaware that this could put them into both legal and criminal trouble. Yeah, I mean, you can go to prison. It's insane. It is wild to me that like you would have the gall to hop your own fence and chop your neighbor's tree down. Oh, let's see, it's trying to grow over my fence now.
Wait, I feel like that's kind of fair though, no? Like, you can cut the tree if it's going over your property. Like, you can cut the branches, but you can't cut the tree. Like, you shouldn't be able to cut your neighbor's tree. Is that not fair? No. That's what he said. That's the rule. They cut the whole tree though. Okay, but like the law literally saves you from them cutting the whole tree though, no? That's like the point. That's what he said. The issue is that people removing the entire tree as a response. But couldn't you like literally set up cameras to check who did it?
Whatever, but I will say I've seen people get pissed.
Oh, they break the law. Okay, then how come they're against the law of the tree thingy if they're breaking the... Wait, I'm confused then. How come they don't like the tree law? If like it doesn't sound that bad. Maybe I need to restart this. Hold on. Damian, Tom, thank you so much for 10 months.
Disputes regarding damage caused as a result of trees and other forms of vegetation. If you find that your
What do you mean they like the tree law? They said like we need to ban the tree law. That's literally what they said.
apartment, there's a very specific law. It has led to all sorts of chaos, which this, I would say almost apartment neighbor disputes are more common because you're so close together. But I will say tree law is something's got to be done about tree law. Okay?
Pro or
Yeah, what are you guys talking about? You guys said question marking me, but he literally says like
tree law.
Fence riding tree law. Tree law refers to the area of legal system that handles disputes regarding damage caused as a result of trees and other forms of vegetation. If you find that your neighbor has a tree that's encroaching on your property, you need to be aware.
Philip DeFranco is suing his neighbor because the cut like 100+ trees that were in his property. As he should.
The strict rules that dictate how you take action, right? You're allowed to trim parts of a tree that fall over a fence and into your home so long as it's not trimmed up past your property line. This sounds simple enough, but you'd be baffled by the amount of stories in which furious neighbors try to trespass on someone's property to chop down a tree. Unaware that this could put them into both legal and criminal trouble. I mean, you can go to prison.
I feel like this really showcases how bored people are in their houses or some shit like that if a tree bothers you. Especially if it's not doing any damage.
It's insane. It is wild to me that like you would have the gall to hop your own fence and chop your neighbor's tree down. Oh, let's see it trying to grow over my fence now. Whatever. But I will say I've seen people get pissed before that a tree like is going to the yard and they like start to cut it and they're like, what are you doing? Cut my tree. And they're like, it's in my yard. What are you doing?
That's in Small Soldiers. What are you doing? They're
what? There's tree law in Small Soldiers?
he's like, Alan Abernathy's dad is like, you're cutting my tree. And he's like, it's blocking my dish.
Small Soldiers. I am Archer, leader of the Gorgamax. Like all the Gorgamax are just like mutants or whatever. Lieutenant
I can't believe that some people don't like the shade of a tree. That shit is like the best kind of shade because it just feels so
Chip Hazard's
naturey
way
and
cooler.
beautiful.
Put me on Chip Hazard's team. Oh, easily. I like Archer. Archer's cool, but the rest of them I could totally.
You know, like the big purple rhino.
I don't like the dopey Frankenstein looking guy. Hey, that like that.
You didn't like Insaniac?
No, I didn't. The purple Tasmanian devil ripoff? No. I like Chip Hazard. All the Chip Hazard guys got pussy. Especially with the gold tooth. How cool is that?
Oh,
Fairs.
they fucked the Barbies, yeah.
Yeah. Batteries not included. One old woman was caught trying to climb over a man's fence with a blade in her hand. And when he told her it was against the law, she began frantically screaming about how she'll blow up the entire place if that's what it takes to get rid of the unsightly tree.
Yo, dude, are people okay? Are people okay? This is all this drama just for a tree. Or is he?
People get pissed, man.
I think that goes beyond. I think the tree's haunted. The face of her like dead husband keeps looking at her. I know what you did. Yeah. Stabbing herself. This is a common occurrence in the world of neighborhood disputes, as people will get permission to trim a few branches only for them to return and see the
Oh my god, I would sue.
entire tree chopped down, which they couldn't physically do without sneaking onto their property illegally, which is even like sometimes I think they hire people and they're like, oh yeah, this is my place, chop down the tree. Over in New Jersey,
What's going on there?
Over in New Jersey, one homeowner discovered that his neighbor, a CEO who wanted a better view of the New York City skyline, had a large crew come down to chop down at least 32 trees illegally for the New York skyline from your suburban neighborhood. That's
Ridiculous. I hope he sued them.
the guy who lives in a suburban neighborhood, but he's like, yeah, well, I drive an F-350 to my accounting job and it's lifted. Yeah, I drive a monster truck to work. I hate myself. I can say it, or you could just look at this. I hate myself. Imagine wanting to actually see the New York City. Wow. There it is. Oh my God. Oh! That's the watching the plane. Because of this, he... very likely will have to pay as much as $1.5 million due to various fines as well as a town
Nah, dude, that was honestly a good one.
ordinance that insists that the person responsible must replace each tree that was destroyed. I like that. Keep in mind, some of these trees were as old as 150 years.
Nah, dude, he needs to owe like $1 million, period. The thing about trees is very complicated, right? Because like, how do you price a tree? I would say with the age, how long, how significant the tree was. They said 1.5 mil. Wow, no, I'm not too far from that.
So they quite literally cannot be replaced in this lifetime. He's gonna be fucking dead while they're still growing. This means he would have to build an entire roadway to work on restoring the area and spend as long as 2 years watering them and maintaining the surrounding property. And not only this, but he even faces a trespassing charge, which is just a little cherry on top. What I like about this though, Nick, is that stupid he's gonna every morning he takes his fucking kids are gone, wife is gone, cheated on much hotter younger guy. He looks out and he just sees him barely growing. And it's just, it's going to be something that just grows in time of his failure. That's psychological. I bet you he moves. He's a pussy, for sure. I can go see the New York skyline somewhere else. His wife's old ass Karen wife just getting railed by her pickleball instructor. He's like, you weren't supposed to doink him? Doink the ball, not the instructor. Sharon, you broke my heart. You're such a we need to start doing like stage play.
Oh my god.
Or something. I want to do a stage play. I want to act as a stage play.
You want to do cats?
I think I could do really good.
No, I want to do like a time period piece. There's this great Roseanne episode. That might be controversial to say now. There's a great Roseanne episode when I was a kid that me and my friends liked, or me and my family liked. It's Lori Metcalf. She walks out and she says one line. She says, "Careen of beef," and walks off. It's really funny. She's like a stump leg.
Is that a real play?
I don't know. She had like a really small part. It's fun. It's good. I don't know what to say. A perfect image. I don't like what Roseanne said. I watched it with my family when I was younger, Nick. All right. Do I like Roseanne today? I
skip
fucking
this bit.
know.
Skip the
but
bit.
Do I watch
Hi,
the show
Casro.
from time to time because it makes me feel like before my parents got divorced? Sure. Irene and Graham Lee, a 7-year-old couple, couldn't handle the fact that birds were repeatedly sitting in the tree above their front yard and taking dumps that would damage the driveway. Damage the driveway? Or was it just shit-stained driveway? Brought Mystery, their neighbor, had no intention of cutting down the tree as it gave the homes more personality. He got the final say on what could
That was such a beautiful tree, man. Fuck these people, bro.
happened to the tree. And in the
Genuinely
end, the couple
fuck
hired
these
someone
people.
to cut everything that extended into their property line. This ended up being perfectly split down the middle of the tree, and the image became viral and turned into a tourist trap that had people traveling from all over to take photos. Which also, Nick, I want to ask you this. Do you agree with this method?
Still alive, here 4 months. Demi, the tweet went live. Oh, yeah, I scheduled a tweet for today because I could not handle the fact that people just kept putting nude and explicit art on my main tag. So I addressed it and I was like, hey, can you just put it to this section, please? Like, hey, if you're gonna do what you want to do and you're not gonna respect my like thingies, can you at least put in this one section for me? Like, can you not bother other people about it? You can do whatever you want to do. I'm not like your mother or some shit like that, but like, hey, I mean, hey, at least please, like, you know, put it in this one at least. That's all you can do.
The tree, because this is definitely what they did. Graham and whatever.
You know they're doing it on purpose, yeah. But if they're gonna do it anyway, I mean, might as well have their little section for it.
The fucker name was.
Well, if you want half your tree, you can have it, but our half we don't want.
Do you agree?
If I hated the neighbor, yes. I think it's pretty petty.
So it is. So do you think that a lot of these just boil down to pettiness? A 25-year-old tree. I mean, at some point, I mean, I look, you know, if I saw a tree, I'm like, it's been here for 25 years. I'm just gonna let it stay. The bird thing I can get to because if you know, he comes home, he's like, that's right, Irene, come outside. I got something to show you. What? And then a big
Tomineko, they got 16 months.
fucking freak bird diarrhea happens. I mean, I would be upset. Be like, I can't even park my cars there. That's fine. I feel like if anything, couldn't you have just trimmed the limbs that were extended on your yard? Did you have to cut it in half? Do you think your balls when you're 70 are going to be like crazy saggy? I'm gonna tell you, in my neighborhood, they're going to think that it's a church bells going off. They're going to sit there, what the fuck is the song? Follow waters, whatever, that Christmas song, whatever.
This is Phillips DeFranco's wife show before and after of the trees. It's devastating.
Thanks for all your feedback on the other video. I just, like, everyone's like, you're gonna make so much money to sue them, blah, 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 but not that.
Dude, sometimes it's not about the money. Trees are old, man. When you buy a property and there were trees beforehand or like some bull like that, bro. Nah, if I had like, let's say a 200-year-old tree and somebody cut that shit out and I look outside and I never see that tree again, I ordered Popeyes because of you. Fat. I wouldn't. Now I feel big and round, as you should. Oh, heavenly, dude, we're gonna meet in Japan. Are you excited? Yeah, your house being perfectly fine is not worth it. Yeah, dude, no amount of money can make me feel better about me losing that tree because I love trees. I think trees are so. There's something about trees being so like magical and just like gorgeous. There's something so beautiful about trees, especially when they get so old and you're just like, wow, look at how old this tree 100 years old, and you're like, wow, 100 years lived your in like literally lived more than whatever. I don't know, man.
There yet, but like that doesn't fix the problem. Do you know what I mean?
It's majestic. True, I love trees.
I'll put some more pictures in here of like how beautiful it was.
Oh my god, that is gorgeous. What's the after? Oh no, I'm not ready for the after.
And how safe it felt, and now we're just like completely exposed, and that's
Oh my god, I feel for them, dude. That's up. No, I'm suing them to I'm suing them to whoever that ass neighbor is. I'm suing them for bankruptcy, dude. Until bankruptcy. Dude, there is no way. There's no way. No, that's so up.
decades, if not centuries, of like tree
No, dude, that's so insane. Look at it. Look at it. Oh no.
growth.
No.
I just like don't feel safe. I just feel icky about it.
That's horrible. That's actually insane. Just so you know, people aren't telling you to sue just for money. They're telling you to sue because you can literally recoup all costs and then some to replace and restore the entire place, especially in a cut and dry case like this. Yeah, sometimes it's not even about the money, dude. Sometimes it's about like literally everything else about it, like having to restore something that is so beautiful that you once had.
Grinch, you know? The Who's are all gonna gather around. And the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day. Online, a small creator known as the Peanut Butter
I don't get it. Oh, the peanut, scary.
Smear exclusively posts videos where he creeps around neighborhoods in Somerset, Kentucky with the goal of covering people's doorknobs in peanut butter.
Yo, there's something wrong that's going on in America. There is something wrong. There is something dreadfully wrong. Like, one, the cutting of the trees. Now the peanut butter stuff.
No
Really?
home or business is safe, and
Guys,
it
please, get a job!
became such a big problem that his local news station started reporting on it. The segment included testimonials from victims and concerned citizens fearing the harm it can do to those with peanut allergies. The mayor of Somerset even called him out directly during a recorded council meeting, urging him to stop. Instead, he posted the clip to TikTok with the caption, "Thanks, but no thanks, mayor," followed by a montage
Okay, can somebody please... Does nobody have cameras?
of him smearing the more doorknobs. He's still out to this day, ladies and gentlemen, with some people even recognizing him on the street and praising him for some reason. I don't know why you'd praise him. I feel like the mayor, he
Really? People are not beating him up for this?
wasn't nearly hard enough on him. If you're out there, peanut butter smear, you will be caught and you will be tried. You hear me?
Is all theatrics.
Why
He's
is there
in
no
because he
doorbell
put the peanut butter
cameras?
smear.
There's no
Did you ever do any
shot.
silly pranks as a kid?
Yeah, like that's the same kind of thing. I knew some people in my school that would do like, that would vandalize shit, and I always just felt bad. I'm like, why do we have to like, even as a kid, I was like, I wonder what the fuck are we doing? I had a buddy that would like, he would like
I had no friends that vandalized.
key someone's car or something, and I was just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I think the worst I personally done was I think I went egging one time, and I was like, oh, this is fucked up. And then
Toilet paper, TPing is fine.
well, that's why. Then I was like, well, it's only TP because at least you know.
Such
it
a waste, though.
rains, it dissolves, or you can
The only
just pull
time
it
I ever
off.
like
I didn't even know this was a thing. I thought this was a joke. I didn't know that throwing eggs and TP in a house is a real thing.
Like TP because at least you know.
Dude, if somebody did this in the Philippines, I know their mother would beat them up because it's such a waste of money.
rains, it dissolves, or you can
The only
just pull
time
it
I ever
off.
liked someone egging was someone egged our house for whatever reason. My dad got so upset because it stained the house. I mean, it was f***ed up. It is f***ed up, but I forgot why. But I was mad at him for some reason. He was sitting there. He's like, fuck, like spraying off the thing, and I just remember sitting there, just an obese chud, looking down from the porch, being like, silly daddy. That's what you get. Yeah, well, I think he's just like, you won't do it right. You won't do it right.
I think I actually remember why I stopped damaging people's houses. One time, me and my buddy went out and we threw applesauce on the side of a house, and the
God, this is. Did anybody else have this in their life? People really don't have a healthy fear of people they don't know, especially in the West. My grand uncle shot a guy just for passing by and talking shit. He was crazy one in the family. Crazy enough, he got free after 5 years of prison because of a state pardon in the 80s. What? Guys, you know what I did in Halloween? I went as a witch with my family and went trick-or-treating. Then went home and counted my candy. That's what I did. And here's the tech. You would go to the rich neighborhood. Oh my god. Oh my god. You would go to the rich neighborhood, and then that's where you go candy, you know, like Halloween stuff, because only the rich people do it. Twinkle tweet. And then I would have this like really cheap ass Halloween costume, and I'm just like, trick or treat, and I have like a little bag and stuff. It was very cute.
guy did not clean it for
Candy,
years.
Why?
please.
Why did you applesauce? Like, why did you do that?
I don't know. A child.
There's a thing.
I don't think they do it anymore as much as before, but when I was younger, they really did Halloween. I don't know if they do it anymore now, but before they did.
Being pressured, like the people who did the key thing, or
Like, I can't
you
fuck
hang
you.
out with like older group of kids who are doing something, you're like, huh, yeah, like I'm 14, they're 17, which is huge age gap then, you know, but they're just like, yeah, I don't know, let's go ding dong dish somebody, or you go do it. Huh, okay. And I pretend I do it. Ooh, and I run down. He didn't really ring it. I did.
I know for a lot of people, for Halloween, they go drinking or something. Not even me. In Halloween, I'm asleep. I'm like, let me play some video games today, yes.
I was that kid. I was pathetic. Over a decade ago, a child by the name of Gabby Mann gained public attention after befriending crows that would repeatedly bring her gifts in return for food from her school lunches. Her parents, Lisa and Gary, were happy to encourage her fascination with birds. If my daughter got national news attention because crows were bringing her a better lunch than we were sending to her from school, would you not be like, cool it with the birds?
yeah.
Am I wrong? Because I imagine after a while that bitch is going to start speaking crow.
Have you seen that kid who could do any bird sound? with
Oh
his
my god,
mouth?
I have! Oh my god, that kid is so cute. So insane.
That kid rules. It's insane. It's so accurate
It's
too.
so
That's
accurate.
Cool. I'm saying that this is a bad. I'm like, you, sweetie, you sound like a pigeon. I get pissed. I'm like, that's not a crow. Also, you know what she'd do? She'd probably do some crow or raven shit. You ever see those things where owners of those have like a clear plastic tube and they'll put like snacks in the middle of it? They have to try to find. That's what they do. That's our daughter. Crow girl. Fast forward to 2 years later in 2015, and this cute little habit became the basis for a lawsuit. It turns out their neighbors were seeing a massive influx of rats and other vermin because of the leftover food left behind by the goddamn birds. On its face, it sounds ridiculous. How many birds and rodents could one 8-year-old draw in? Turns out quite a bit with right help. By this point, the Mann family was doing more than feeding the one-off stray bird. The operation grew to multiple feeding situations with a custom 10 by 10 foot structure, as well as
If I one day, because of an 8-year-old, started seeing so much shit in the roof, so much shit in the windows, so much bird shit everywhere, and I'm like, God, why the fuck am I going outside and seeing bird shit everywhere? Oh my God. I don't blame them for suing. Am I a bad person for that? I feel like I don't really blame them for suing if they had to like literally see so much shit everywhere. Yeah, I kind of get it.
hired employees to make sure feed was regularly supplied as many as 6 times a day. Employees is the crow girl bringing in.
Employees. Okay, I feel like this is insane.
That much money?
I mean, try and resolve it normally first. Of course, I would talk to them. I'll be like, hey, man, the birds, they gotta go. I'm okay with like a few birds, but if it's gonna be like a whole thing, it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be an issue.
The side of the neighbor on this one. I have rats and birds. If you think if Leslie and Graham Lee, whatever, thought that their situation was bad, I cannot even imagine. You know, my daughter was on the news today. Oh, that's cool. Rebecca? Oh, do you have another daughter? No, that's her dead name. Her name's Crow Girl now. That's how it started. Oh, cool. All right.
Do you think the girls she was paying for the operation?
Oh, no. I think she was probably curled up in a nest in her room trying to peck at Tootsie Rolls from a clear tube. That's what I imagine. I think the dad was milking it dry. You trying to get your Crow Girl swag? A lack of action resulted in two neighbors filing a $200,000 lawsuit, and the case was settled out of court after the Mann family agreed to restrict the feeding for the next 8 years, as well as pay an undisclosed amount of money to the people, which I bet you was pretty close. Also, too, do you think that it wasn't monetarily? Do you think that they just liked the attention? Oh, we Manns have never had attention from the media before. Let's feed more crows. I bet you Gabby was done with it. I don't like the crows.
Get outside.
Get out there and put feed in the 10-foot by 10-foot tower.
I'm sure the neighbor tried to like talk to them beforehand before the suing happened, because it feel like the fact that they even had to settle means that they had a good standing. Actually, if the neighbor won their case, that means they had like an insane amount of like, yeah, no. Ooh.
Gabby. Umar Abdullah and his family moved into an apartment in Tampa, Florida, where he immediately took issue with the downstairs neighbor, Zooming Lee. He would constantly pester Umar with noise complaints due to loud footsteps, Roombas rolling on the floor, and even things as simple as
You can hear the Roomba? At that point, that's not your neighbor's fault anymore. That's literally just a construction literal issue. If you can hear the Roomba.
drawers being opened. Shortly after they'd gotten settled in, one of Umar's friends was at the apartment dropping something off when she noticed a chemical smell that would make her eyes burn. Jesus. These symptoms would persist inside the apartment, and over time, Umar's baby had begun to cough so much that she started vomiting. Umar stated,
I started sniffing the water heater area like a dog, and as I was moving towards the entry
Why did he give him this accent, bro?
door from the water heater door, I felt that the smell is even more severe. A toxic smell.
A month later, Umar set up a camera outside his apartment and discovered something absolutely insane. In the footage, zooming could be seen injecting a liquid using a syringe underneath Umar's
What?
front fucking door, and it's insane. The footage or the picture of it is wild. Police were called to investigate Zooming's behavior and found that he had been mixing methadone and hydrocodone and planting it in Umar's house to harm him and his family. Zooming was a chemistry PhD student at a Florida university and
Holy
is well
shit,
aware of the
almost
effect.
2 years. That's crazy. What are we watching today?
What the fuck? What the Magical Matron 22 No, he was killing the baby. Oh my god, he was literally trying to like make that family die.
From the combination of said chemicals. He was arrested and charged with 3 counts of battery, possession of a controlled substance, and 1 count of burglary, and multiple other charges. He was deported back to China and faces jail time in the event that he returns to the United States. What a actual mad scientist fucking
That is an actual psycho.
monster.
That's a villain origin right there.
Also, too, it seems like with this kind of thing, when things go like this,
That should be, yeah, I was gonna say that should be attempt of murder.
it feels like it's a race issue to me. Of like, oh, I just don't like these people, right? I don't know how on earth you could see a family with a baby. And don't get me wrong, maybe they were loud, I don't know. But to not have the maturity to like amicably come to an agreement or do something, or even just bring it up to the people that run the apartment complex.
Yeah,
In the
literally.
early morning hours, the Shield family was going about their day. Anna Shield was in her bathroom getting ready to take a bath when a truck suddenly crashed into the bathroom wall, sending a 300-pound steel beam flying past her head. Holy
What?
Before she knew it, the whole house was lit on fire. Thankfully, her entire family was able to get out safely. Around the side of the house, their neighbor and the man behind the wheel, Paul Elbort, was trapped underneath the vehicle, missing both of his prosthetic legs. Ron Scheel pulled him out to find that he was severely burned and bleeding from his face. Elport wasn't thankful. In fact, he started to crawl away from the scene on his own.
Why are we using this clip, man? Stop.
Police were called, and after conducting an investigation, they revealed something almost unthinkable. Police discovered that when Paul was in 8th grade, he wrote a poem called The Fire. The poem was only 5 sentences long and
Oh no. Oh no.
detailed Paul riding a rocket and dying in a fiery crash. It read as follow.
I had a little rocket which I sat afire one day. It cruised around and landed in some hay. It set the hay ablaze, and I fell back in a daze. The fire overcame me, but no one heard my plea. I died that night, very sadly.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Mrs. English teacher. The car bomb ultimately failed, and Paul was arrested. He was charged with criminal mischief, arson, and attempted deliberate homicide. Initially, he had a plea deal to receive a lesser sentence, but the judge rejected it and sentenced him
Oh, thank God. I was about to say. Oh, thank you.
to 110 years in prison. Hell yeah. Cool poem, bro. Guilty. Wonder what they got upset at. What do you think was the defining thing where he was just like, I don't like them. You're my targets.
The loud noise.
You think it was, or do you think it was the happiness of his family?
Oh, yeah, too happy.
Look at that mug shot. All those 2 prosthetic legs. Does it have legs? John D. Nino was the new president of the HOA and Bellaria Residences.
HOA president. Okay, let's hear about this.
Luxury condo complex. Him and his wife Doreen had loved their home, despite one of their neighbors being particularly strange. Francisco Villi, a resident in his 60s, was a crotchety man that would often espouse theories about the HOA being filled with corruption. He hated the HOA board and how the
Fairs?
building was run. That would make people uncomfortable with his constant ramblings, which honestly, they don't sound like ramblings. It sounds like a sane man talking about a regular HOA. I digress. Part of this may have been due to
This is such a fire photo of him.
the fact that he used to be on the board before being kicked out for his unruly behavior. Okay, so he's just jealous. Anyone else think the HOA sucks now?
It used to be good when I was on the
Used to be
board.
pretty sweet a couple months back.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, Francisco. When Francisco found out that Danino was now the HOA president, he would constantly stop him to complain about issues with the building. Many of these issues were incredibly odd, like the claim that his building was being exposed to toxic
Oh my God, this fuck ass image, dude.
electromagnetic waves due to his condo being above the electrical room.
You know, I'm gonna say right now, I miss when people like Photoshop the most craziest shit altogether, like this. You know what I mean? I miss when people would conjure the most like stupid shit you'd ever seen.
Claimed that his building was being exposed to toxic electromagnetic waves due to his condo being above the electrical room. We're dealing with that kind of guy. And Francesco believed he was suffering from symptoms of EHS, electromagnetic hypersensitivity, though this is a self-diagnosed condition not recognized as a real medical disorder. I'm pretty sure that's what happened in Better Call Saul. He secured the blueprints for the building and began conducting ideas for a drop ceiling that would work as a barrier between his unit and the electrical room. Despite offering $10,000 of his own money, the board refused to approve the construction. And in his mind, this meant he was being silenced and that the point of keeping him around the toxic electromagnetic waves was to slowly
Oh my God, dude.
kill him. They wanted to kill him. And by this point, he had already been convinced that Danino was part of the mafia and wanted him dead.
What
From
the
here,
fuck?
Francisco began to unravel. He would scream in the hallways at 4 a.m., film tons of interactions with board members to upload on Facebook, and harass Danino non-stop. Property managers had begun quitting due to his outburst, and it was time for the board to take action. They decided to pursue legal action against Francisco, ordering him to comply with Section 117 of the Condominium Act that forbade abusive, intimidating behavior against the board or others working or living within the building. Section 117, Francisco, he's like, ay, ay, ay. You get that battery away from me. No more electricity for me. Billy tried to fire back with a $1 million lawsuit with his claims of being slowly poisoned, but was unsuccessful. He never changed his ways, and in fact, things got worse. He aggressively harassed everyone, and at one
Oh my
point, a
God.
property manager had to lock herself in her office out of fear as Francisco screamed endlessly through the door, and the board had no choice but to take him back to court. Francisco lost and was ordered to pay close to $30,000 for the board's legal costs. You think that nobody would be on his side, but this wasn't the case. The legal battles were taking a toll on some residents as the board had to pass special assessments charging residents to recoup many of their legal fees. people's hatred of the HOA made it hard for some residents to take their side. And one former resident named Tony Coutron was a realtor that was convinced that Francisco to sell his home after they became friendly with each other. He even convinced him to move into a long-term case facility. He agreed only with the main stipulation that Tony would visit him on Christmas. When Tony explained that his schedule wouldn't allow it, however, Francisco completely lost it and went back to treating him as a sworn enemy. You gotta visit me on Christmas. I can't.
I was gonna say, he just likes him.
He wants him to visit him.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll go there, but you gotta visit. Can you come on Christmas?
Just don't ask for Christmas.
on,
like,
Francisco.
not
I mean,
Christmas.
fuck, what
Any
about
other
Easter?
day would have been
It's gotta be
fine.
Christmas. The board had one last resort. As it was to collect the rest of the legal fees Francisco was forced to pay by selling his unit, the day before the court was able to decide the fate of his home, Francisco armed himself with a Beretta semi-automatic pistol, pulled the fire alarm, and began a killing spree.
I just remembered something. This is a story I wanted to say a while ago, but I completely forgot. I wanted to say it a while ago, but I forgot what I wanted to say because something happened in the video, and then I completely forgot what I wanted to say. Anyway, so I recently found out that my uncle living in America was like smelling something weird in his apartment, like really odd. Like, God, it smells so bad. And he started like bleaching the sinks and everything because he just could not stand the smell. Then he couldn't stand it, and then he like looked around the apartment. He couldn't find anything where that smell was coming from. And then he went downstairs to his like downstairs neighbor to check maybe like somebody was whatever. He checked the window of that apartment and etc. and he saw flies. Oh no. Called the police and everything. Dead body. Didn't find it for holy I don't even know. I didn't pry too much of the story or like ask questions too much, but like it must have been a while if that many flies were found. So he was just living his life smelling a dead corpse for like how long? I don't even know. Just like, why does it smell bad? And bleaching his sinks. You're like, God, I can't stand the smell. Bleach, 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 bleach. Literally, like, everywhere. I feel so bad for him. I feel so horrendously bad for him. Oh my God. By the way, America, wood. Yikes.
Oh. Okay. Oh, no.
I would like
Wood, as in like wood. The floors are wood. The smell will literally reach anywhere. The wood house. It's a wooden like apartment stuff. Oh my God, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that.
to take back the HOA comment I made earlier. He went door to door shooting down the people he believed.
No. I did not say like wood. As in like no. Oh my God.
were conspiring to kill him. Davino and Doreen began evacuating, only to come face to face with Francisco, gun in hand. Doreen was shot under the jaw, with the bullet exiting through the base of her skull. She fell to the floor, and a pool of blood emerged underneath her. Francisco hesitated before firing at Danilo, giving him time to throw several objects at him, and they were able to barricade him outside and call the police. In the end, Francisco confronted a cop, only to be shot twice in the torso, quickly killing him. Sadly, 5 people died before he could be put down. Doreen, who had to communicate with a whiteboard
Holy
after having her mouth wired shut, slowly recovered. She eventually healed enough to talk once more, returning home with Danilo. Many people caught wind of the story and took Francisco's side, claiming that he was not treated well by the system. Others believed that this was just a man with debilitating mental illness who was a danger to the people around him. Which, I gotta say, even if they didn't treat him right, at no point can you ever justifiably take the side of a man arming himself with a gun
I completely agree.
and killing innocent people. If anything, the only thing I think the HOA should have done is just moved more proactively to get him out of the system faster. But how do you know? Imagine if Tony just went to see him on Christmas, right?
Well, the funny thing is he could have just said, yes, I'll do that.
And just not done it. Yeah, I'll do it. He's too proud. He's too proud. If you've got normal neighbors, appreciate them. Not everyone has the privilege of relocating just to avoid the person sharing a wall with them. And if you do find that someone in your neighborhood is deranged, be extra careful about how you choose to confront them. Not only can they be dangerous, but they know where you live, right? Take care. If you got a good neighbor, maybe make us some cookies and give it over, right? There's also
me giving the cake, apologizing to my neighbor. I'm so sorry for being loud. I'm so sorry.
There's nothing wrong with trying to bury hatchets. That's one thing. You have a weird neighbor. If someone slights you, sometimes it's better to take the high
By
road.
the way, the neighbor texted me, like, the cake was amazing, by the way. Thank you so much. Like, apparently the cake tasted good. W's in chat. It's what we usually buy for our birthdays. Same company. Same, like, store, cake store.
Try to see what they're seeing. Try to become amicable with them. Not saying that it works with everybody, but I do think literally baking a plate of cookies solves almost every problem between neighbors, if I'm being
It
real.
was a, I think it was this Oreo cake thingy.
Hey, sorry, I know it's fucking, but I just want to say here. Sorry, I was being loud. That's good. It's a change of respect.
Are these vegan?
The cake tax.